Jesse Sue is back for you. How important is that?
Yeah, it's very important. Obviously, when we brought Jesse over, he was going to be one of our senior players in that pack, and I think he's proved that this year. It's not so much, well, it is what he does on the field, but it's what he does around the place as well. How professional he is. Obviously, we had some time off last week, but how he comes back from that, he's had a couple of weeks not playing, but keeping his body in shape. So all those areas is really important to us, but there's no doubt that he's going to, he'll bring that aggression and passion that he plays with back again.
Well, he certainly has had an impact off the bench when you've used him, and you've primarily used him in that role, haven't you?
Yeah, I did. I started him at the beginning of the year and was more a conversation of where he preferred to, because I know, obviously working with him in the past, he does prefer to come off the bench, and it's probably where he makes most impact in the game. I do see him, as a starting player as well, but it was more so, I like to initially at the start of the year was just move the middles around and just see where that best combination is of who starts and who comes from the bench. But no doubt Jess has played his best rugby coming off the bench and making that impact.
What other team news have you got? Have you got anybody else coming back or anybody who can't play?
So Jordan, we're just waiting to see with Jordan. Just got a slight issue with his quad, so we're just waiting to see on that. And then Jordan and Cootie have got to pass some protocols from last game with HIA. So providing they get through that, but then obviously Jordan, as I said, Jordan's got one issue with his leg. Other than that, everyone seems pretty good to go.
Yeah, how big an issue is it with him? Is he 50-50 or?
No, I'm not sure, mate. Well, to be honest, it was something happened today. It was just something minor at training. It was at the back end of the session. So we just need to see how he pulls up.
And the head protocols, well, it's worked well for you, hasn't it, in terms of having that week off because of the 12-day regulation?
Yeah, certainly. So, we're hopeful. Obviously, Lachlan and Jordan tomorrow will see the specialist and hopeful that they'll get past the play.
Well, it does leave you with some decisions to make once again, doesn't it? Good ones.
Yeah, absolutely. We want, as we've spoken about before, you want to be in that position, making tough calls as a coach and your staff who make those calls as well. So, it's about what we need to do now is pick off, what we did before that break that we had. Players know that there's spots. Obviously a team, we've got a team at the moment that's performing well, but they need to keep doing that now because we've certainly got some players there that are ready to wear that jersey again. So it's healthy competition.
You've got a bit of a conundrum there with Corey Hall and Sam Wood, haven't you? Because to fit Corey in, you've had to shuffle things around in the back line, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It was one with Corey that we're always going to be patient with. Obviously, there were some questions around, why didn't he go straight into the team? And the reason for that was obviously, Sam Wood and players who were in the team were doing a great job. And then, during that week, then Corey towards that back end of the week got rushed into the team. But you can't change him at the moment because he has played. You can't change the team because he's performed really well in those two games. And there's no doubt he's going to get better and better. So naturally now it's working out, who fits where. And as I mentioned before, the decision to put Skids on the wing is purely around that he's done it most of his career in the NRL, and he's done it for his country. Now we know what he's done for our club for the last 4 years as a centre, so we know what he's capable of there. But it's when you've got a team that's performing well, it's pretty much a matter of finding those players some spots. So, and as I said, guys like Sam Wood and players that are currently missing out. They're ready to go. They're ready to take that next opportunity as well.
Well, with Jesse coming back, I presume he does come into the 17. That means someone's going to be unlucky and probably unlucky without justification. Again, it's a great position for you to be in.
Yeah, absolutely. For someone like Jess has proved himself. Obviously, he proved himself in the NRL, but then when you come to the Super League, you need to prove yourself again. And Jess has certainly done that. So, there obviously the tackle that he did in the FC game. You could have easily looked to challenge it in the sense that it wasn't in a, what's the word, like in a vertical position, but he put him in that dangerous sort of position. So my point that I want to make there was it wasn't something that he intentionally went out to do, where you lose your spot because you deserved to because it was intentional. So it was one of those unfortunate things. And he went and will get his spot back because of what he's done leading into this week's game or before that whole FC game.
Seemed a long time ago since you played Castleford, but you got the win. But to say it was scratchy and messy and it was a win is about sums it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, I agree with that, Willem. Look, mate, I thought, it was the back end of that 10 weeks. We knew that we had a break. We had a really, tough, solid preseason the aim was to start out the way we did. And you never guaranteed to do that. You got to do the work and then do it again when you start playing. So you could see towards the back end, there was just little things in that game and we highlighted that yesterday, that we stopped moving on certain plays and just things that we value. We probably weren't as effective as what we had been in the past. But in saying that, we played against a tough, gritty Cass team who we knew were going to be tough to beat at home. The positive is, the good teams go and win those games that are tight, and they are that. It was rainy, it was wet conditions. It was a gritty, tough sort of game. And the good teams find a way to win that. And, we're on our way to be that team that we want to be. We're not there yet. So that was the pleasing part. And then to know that they could take a breath, reset, and then now we go again and focus on Huddersfield, who's going to be a tough game because they've come off a game against FC that no doubt they wouldn't be happy with. And I respect, and I think Huddersfield's a very good team. So they'll come here Friday, and I'm sure we'll play a different team than what we played to what we saw against FC.
Yeah, they're doing it tough at the moment, aren't they, Huddersfield? I look at the team and the results don't seem to be the sum of the parts, do they?
No, definitely not. I mean, if you look, aside from that FC game, they've been in every game and they've narrowly sort of got beat. If you have a look at their stats and areas in their defence, they're right up there with the top 4 teams in those areas. So to me, that says a lot about your team defensively. It's what we pride ourselves in. So they're getting those areas right. Now it's probably just getting that finesse and the execution right. But I don't want to talk too much about Huddersfield because we know what we want, how we want to play. It'll be a good game on Friday. Looking forward to playing them.
Well, they've got a big pack, haven't they? And people like McQueen as well. You can't take your eye off them, can you?
No, he's a good player. I've known him, Chris, for a long time. Still playing some great rugby. They've got class across the park. There's no doubt about that. So as I said, if you look too much into the individuals, then you can forget about what you want to do. So we'll just focus on what we can control, and we're looking forward to being back at home, mate. We're looking forward to being in front of that crowd again because it's they travelled to Cass and they've travelled to all our away games. It's always good to come home.
Yeah, indeed. I can just talk to you briefly about a player that missed out and a player that didn't miss out at international level. Were you surprised that Mikey Lewis didn't get a go?
Oh, look, I wasn't surprised because obviously the 2 halves that they picked, well, obviously, George is the captain and he's a quality half. So Mikey could have got that other position. Unfortunate for him, but there's no doubt, and we spoke about it this week, there's no doubt if he keeps playing the way he is, Sean Wayne will pick him at the end of the year. There's no doubt about that. And, there's a few areas that Mikey needs to work on. Wayne's obviously given him some feedback, so he knows where he stands. So, it's all positive for Mikey. It's to be part of that team. I can see the growth in him already coming back into our team, what he's learned in a week. So sometimes it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing what Wayne is doing. He's getting him in the squad and he gets a feel for what the England setup's about. He sees what the vision is of what the coaching staff are trying to do, and it makes him hungry to be part of that. And that's what I've seen since he's come back. He knows where he wants to go now, and he wants to be part of that squad. And I'm sure he'll play representative football at the end of the year.
There's it's very easy to forget that he's still a baby, isn't he? He's still a youngster. He's still finding his way, which is a great credit to him. But it's a great boost to you if you, as a coach, look at him and say, well, you know, he's not even halfway there to where he could be.
Yeah, absolutely, he's not. At the moment, he's only scratching the surface, to be honest, because he didn't have a great preseason because he came back from an injury, and then once he started, he sort of got in his groove a little bit. But then he had a slow start to the season. There was a couple of little adjustments made to his game, but what I've been most pleased about is he's played his best rugby off the back of playing physical. Like, his defense has definitely improved from where it was at the start of the year. He's taken the line on. We all know how effective runner he is, but he's just got the little areas right in his game. His push supports, his communication, and his confidence around the place is growing every day. So I can see him developing now into a starting player to play week to week. There was a period there that we could have probably, not picked him for a certain week because of performances. He knows that. But with a player like Mikey, you've got to, and a kid at that age, you've got to accept that's what's going to happen. He's going to miss tackles. He's going to come up with a bad decision or throw an intercept or kick a ball out in the full. It's all part of his development. So he fixed up and tightened the areas up, and again, it was mainly around his defense and playing physical and being in the game. And now we're seeing a far better Mikey Lewis. But this is, like you say, definitely not the finished product. It's only the beginning for him. So that's the exciting part for us, myself, the staff and the club is where he can go. He's got all ahead of him. But at the end of the day, mate, if he works hard and makes sacrifices, he'll get to be the best version of himself. If he doesn't, then, like anyone, mate, you can you don't reach your potential. But I'm very confident in him that he can do that.
Jez Litten did get to play against France off the bench. And that bodes well, doesn't it? Because he's a bench player for you at the moment because of the exhilarating form of Matt Parcell. But for him to be recognised at international level speaks volumes for him and how he's thought of.
Yeah, absolutely. There was definitely no surprise with Jez getting picked in the squad, and definitely no surprise that he made the 17. If you have a look at his game, he's an all-round. He's a complete 9. There's certainly areas that he needs to work on, and he knows that. But he's got a really good kicking game. He's got a really good hit stick. He tackles with intent. He's smart. He's got good deception around dummy half. He now knows how to bring his forwards onto the ball. He knows how to speed a ruck up or slow it down. There's a lot to his game. And he's not young. He's not like Mikey's age now. So he's getting to that 24, 25 stage. So you'd expect him to keep developing the way he is. But again, his best rugby will be in the next couple of years. There's no doubt. We'll see a better version of Jez now after playing for England, because there's no doubt you come back a better player. Being around, experienced players, but also wearing that jersey gives you belief. Like, there's no doubt he's going to have belief now of he is a player. We all believe he's going to be our 9 for a very, very long time. We'll hope he's going to be our 9 for a very long time. But like you say, at the moment, he's got Matty, who's starting and doing a great job. But yeah, it'll come a time where Jez will end up taking over at some stage and being our club's 9 for the next 10 years. But Matty's doing a wonderful job at the moment, and they work well together. So we're happy we've got them both.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can almost say you've got two first choice number 9s, which is great, isn't it? If you had that in every position, you'd be in heaven, wouldn't you? Yeah,
it's a key position, the 9. I think, I'm a fan of having 2 9s who are as good as each other, and that's we value them both the same. It's just one starts and the other one comes off the bench. And Matty's probably, because he had Jez had a couple of opportunities to start. But it's just the way it's working at the moment. That's not to say that Jez won't start again at some stage, but we definitely, we like playing with 2 9s, and Jez can obviously come on and play at 7, which he did for England, the back end, and he can play at 13 as well. So it's good to have his versatility. But yeah, it's for defensive teams or opposition teams. You look at Matt Parcell and you go, okay, we're going to defend him this way. If they do that, and then you bring on Jez Litten, and then you've got to defend him a certain way, it can cause some headaches to opposition teams.
And just one final question, getting back to the prospects of playing Huddersfield. You're on a hot run. Are you hoping that the break hasn't come at the wrong time for you?
Oh, look, I think the break certainly came at the right time, and you could see from, as I said, certain actions that we did in that last game. So the break has come at the right time, but now it's how we respond after the break. So, there's no excuse to say, obviously, if you don't go out and perform or the break come at the wrong time, well, no, for me, we're in control of everything that happens now. We're in control of what we did at training today. We're in control of what we do at training on captain's run on Thursday, and then going into the game, we're in control of being that team that we were before the break. So, we've got areas that we pride ourselves in, and if we, reach those again, then we'll bounce straight back into being the team that we were, and we're striving to be, a better team. So we're not happy or content with where we were at. We want to keep striving to be better. So we certainly can't, feel our way into this game, because if we do that, then we'll be on the wrong side of the scoreboard. There's no doubt about that.
Well, there's no doubt about it that Huddersfield are the sort of side that can spoil the party, and a fast start always helps to stop that happening, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you want to start fast every week, and I think after having a break, you certainly want to start fast, and there's no reason not to. Like, both teams are had some time off, they're fresh, so it's just going to be who wants it more, pretty much.
Willie, thank you very much as always. See you on Friday.
Cheers, Gwilym. Thanks, mate.
Hi, Willie. You all right?
Yeah, good, Jay. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. I'm just wondering, is Rowan Milnes back at your disposal now? Obviously, Wakefield have signed Luke Gale, and you've mentioned the injuries to Lachlan and Jordan.
Yes, mate. Yeah, he will be.
Yeah, so he could go into contention as well. And I suppose you have got options there as well. You got young Phoenix, Ethan Ryan played there at the back end of the year, didn't he? So there is ample options there for you.
Yeah, certainly, mate. We'll have some good options. Which again, mate, we need to finalise in the next couple of days.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, great to be back at home and hopefully kickstart the season again. Because like you've mentioned, the first part was great, but it's probably what you do at the back end of the year that's going to count more than the first bit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not where you start; it's always where you finish. We wanted to have a fast start, which we've had. Now it's about building on that. So, as I said before to Gwilym, the break did come at the right time. Now it's about our attitude and our how we approach this next block going forward. Because obviously, you put some challenge cups in there, and it's you're playing week in, week out. So we certainly needed a break. But now it's about how we start again on Friday. For me, it's more a mindset than anything like that. You don't lose a great deal in the space of a week, but what you can lose is that attitude and that care factor of what we had. When I say lose it sometimes for different teams can't be as high as what it was. For us, we've got no excuse, because that's what we've spoken about. That's what's hard work's got us to the position that we're in. Preparation and working hard for each other has got us in a good position. But like you say, it's only been 10 weeks. We've got a lot of work ahead of us now.
Perfect. Best of luck Friday, mate. See you then.
Cheers, Joe. Thanks, mate.